Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we're gonna take a look at Pastel Mickey from Mickey and Friends. Pastel Mickey's ability description is pastel minis that can be connected with pastel Mickeys appear, clearing surrounding zooms when connected. This game demonstration that you're currently watching is a skill level 1 demonstration, but let's take a look at his stats before we take a look at his ability. So in order for you to activate his ability, you'll need to charge up Pastel Mickeys by clearing anywhere between 18 to 24 Pastel Mickeys on the screen. This number will depend on which skill level you have him at. His minimum score is 600 and a maximum score of 2021. If you do want to level up Pastel Mickey to skill level 6, you'll need to get a total of 32 copies of him in the premium box. So Pastel Mickey is a pretty good Tsum for score. So if you are looking for a high scoring Tsum and you're one of those players that can play really fast and connect really long chains, then Pastel Mickey is one of those Tsums that you want to use. So let's take a look at his ability chart. So as you level up Pastel Mickey, the ability or the amount of Tsums that will require to activate Pastel Mickey's ability will decrease depending on which skill level. So if you take a look at the chart, it does fluctuate a little bit. And also what also changes is the skill time. Going from skill level 2 to 3, you're going to get additional second. And same thing for skill level 4 to level 5. So you do get a little bit more time to connect a little bit longer chain. Now, if you are a player that struggles with making really long chains really quickly, Pastel Mickey can be a little bit difficult to use. And also, you won't see the score increase or the results come through until you get Pastel Mickey to a higher skill level. This game demonstration is a skill level 1 game demonstration, so the score is only going to be 600 for Pastel Mickey. But what I also want to show you guys is a side-by-side comparison of Pastel Mickey between skill level 1, 2, and 3. And the major difference between the 3 different skill level is that going from skill level 2 to skill level 3, the ability is going to take 1 more second to play through for skill level 3. And the amount of Tsums that's going to be required to activate the ability will change as well, going from skill level 1 to skill level 2. So every time you level up your Pastel Mickey, you're either going to have an additional second during the animation, or it's going to cost you 2 less Tsums to activate Pastel Mickey's ability. So there are some trade-offs there. Now let's talk a little bit about strategy when it comes to using Pastel Mickey. One of the things that you want to do is that you don't want to rush into activating Pastel Mickey's ability. So these 3 gaming demonstrations that I have doesn't really do a good job in showing you that, because I did rush into the animation and played it through. What you should really do is you want to wait until the screen is full of Mickeys or at least minis. What I recommend you to do using Pastel Mickey is that after your bar is fully charged, start clearing other Tsums other than Pastel Mickey off the screen before you activate the ability. By doing that, when you do activate the ability, the screen will be full of either Pastel Mickey or Pastel Minis for you to really chain them and clear them off. So don't feel like you need to rush into activating the ability right away. This is one of those Tsums where you don't need to do that. If you are using Pastel Mickey, you are likely trying to get a really high score. Pastel Mickey is not going to be great for coins, but can be good for a really high chain or a really high score. So keep that in mind when you are using Pastel Mickey. And the cool thing about Pastel Mickey is that when you are using him, it does burst surrounding Tsums as well. So it does add that effect to it. But I think that if you are patient and activate the ability with as many Pastel Mickey and Pastel Mini on the screen, and then you clear the chain, that way you'll get a lot more clears in per game. So what I also want to show you guys is a side-by-side comparison of the abilities activated all at the same time. So let's take a look at that. So here it is, activated at the same time. Mickey and Minnie will bump heads, and then a bunch of Tsums will show up on the screen, and then you start clearing them. So let me slow it down so we can really digest what is actually going on. So as I mentioned, Minnie does come from the top and then hits Mickey on the head, and then they touch and a lot of love little symbols show up. So I paused it here on purpose to show you guys that this first part is really fully random. What is happening here is that it's taking one type of Tsum on the screen right now, and then it's going to change into Pastel Mini, which could be connected with Pastel Mickey. The number of Tsums that will be changed here is completely random. It will just really depend on how many Tsums of that singular species is on the screen itself. So if you get lucky, you could get a lot of Tsums change, or you could get unlucky and then you only get a couple change. But regardless, this is the reason why I mentioned to you that you should clear as many non Pastel Mickey off the screen as possible before you activate the ability. That way it'll increase the chance of you being able to clear a big bunch of Tsums off the screen. So now let's resume here really quickly. And all the shadow Tsums that I just pointed out has turned into Pastel Minis. As you can see, I didn't use the strategies that I mentioned, therefore there's a lot of gaps in between. But if you use a strategy that I recommended you, what should happen here is that you're going to have a lot of Pastel Mickeys already on the screen, and you'll be able to clear a bunch of Pastel Mickeys or connect a bunch of Pastel Mickeys along with the Pastel Minis, therefore clearing a lot of Tsums off the screen here. But because I didn't do that, we're not really going to see that effect here. And I'm going to let this animation play through and keep a close eye on the burst that I'm currently making. You'll see that it is bursting a lot of surrounding Tsums along with it. So after you make your first long chain, that's what you should do, is try to burst as many Tsums as possible around it. Now I'm pausing this here on purpose because to show you that skill level 1 and skill level 2's animation ended together, and that's by design. And then after skill level 1 and skill level 2 animation plays through, 1 more second will go by before skill level 3 is going to complete. This game demonstration that you're watching right now is in slow motion. It's actually slowed down by half, which is why you're seeing more than 1 second go by. Alright, so at the end of this gameplay for Pastel Mickey at skill level 1, I ended up with 985 coins. And for Pastel Mickey at skill level 2, I got 1,358 coins. And finally for Pastel Mickey at skill level 3, I got 1,401 coins. So as you can see, Pastel Mickey is not going to be great for coins. You're really going to be using Pastel Mickey for a really long chain mission or to get a high score. And if you are going for a high score, what you want to do is try to pop as many of these Pastel Mickeys in the center as possible, so that way it'll burst surrounding Tsums, or make a giant one like using the strategy that I mentioned. Right now I am playing Pastel Mickey at these pretty low level, so the score isn't going to be as effective or be a really good representation of what Pastel Mickey has to offer. And at the end of these gameplays, for skill level 1, I only ended up in the 1 millions, but for skill level 2 and 3, they are a little bit higher levels, so they ended up in the 3 million. So if you do have Pastel Mickey at level 50, you should definitely get a higher score. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it entertaining or at least helpful. And if you would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching.